60 The Answer. Online at 560theanswer.com. On the AM 560 mobile app. On your Alexa-powered smart speaker. On TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.
Report from his dad that he's paralyzed. Also that he was shot eight times. That's what his dad said.
Yeah, but if you watch the video, I mean, there were 7 rounds fired. But,
yesterday we were told that he was shot once. So this is the fog of war stuff where you just report what you understand to be true, knowing that some of it's likely to be corrected because there's so much conjecture flying around, and you don't have people who actually are investigating, commenting with any specifics. So this is the point.
And there's also an active warrant out for his arrest for a July 3rd-degree sexual assault attempt that he had.
So there again, it's one of those factors. Did police know that he had an open warrant? Probably so. When they get a call at a domestic, maybe they didn't. We don't know, but this all factors into the discussion. There's also new video out that shows the reverse angle on the car. It shows him down on the ground with cops trying to keep him on the ground on the passenger side back wheel. He gets away from them somehow. That's too distant to really see with any clarity, but he gets away from them somehow. That's when he walks around the front of the car to the driver's side with the cops following him around. And then he opens the door, reaches for something, he gets shot. That's what we know. Okay. We also know this, that 5 million Americans became first-time gun owners in 2020. 5 million. FBI National Instant Background Check System, along with the National Shooting Sports Foundation, estimates there were more than 12 million guns bought in the first 7 months of 2020, up more than 70% over the same time span in 2019. 70%.
Wow.
Probably the biggest surge in gun ownership in American history,
for sure.
According to David Harsanyi over at National Review, who's written a lot on the topic. Be interesting to see how that impacts the national landscape, particularly when you have colossal asshats like Sean Casten sitting in a congressional seat in suburban Chicago. I cannot play this clip enough, and I cannot believe this is not generating more attention, even just since we played it this morning. I don't know what's wrong with people. 5 million new gun owners in America just in 2020.
And
the estimates are a third to a half of Americans live in a household with a firearm. And this is the reaction you get from Sean Casten on a Zoom town hall arguing against the Second Amendment, and I mean its existence, and then characterizing gun owners in a particular way while he asked the rhetorical question, why would anybody need to own a gun? Why do you need to own a gun? As if need is the threshold test.
You won't get a majority of Democrats on this, much less a majority of politicians. But I would love to see us go back, reread Justice John Paul Stevens' dissent in the Heller versus D.C. case, and insist on being strict constitutional originalists, because what Justice Stevens said in that case was that when our Constitution was written, we had some states like Vermont that said everybody can have a gun, and our founders intentionally chose not to do that. And that whole well-regulated militia bit at the start was because our founders were also sitting there having just fought a war where most of the soldiers in the Continental Army didn't know how to shoot straight, didn't know how to maintain their gun, and we didn't have an income tax structure, so we didn't know how to maintain a standing army. And so their whole idea was that a well-regulated militia, which was going to be a thing where people could drill in order to defend the country, was the reason why we needed to have guns. And if you are a constitutional originalist, unless you're a member of a well-regulated militia, tell me why you need to own a gun, right? I mean, having small genitals is not a sufficient reason to own a gun.
Having small genitals is not a sufficient reason to own a gun.
And he's a sitting congressman right now. And 5 million, how many millions? 5 million people bought guns between January of 2020 and now. And he's saying that. That's if I lived in that district and heard that, if he was my congressman, I would be appalled and would be calling his office every hour on the hour today to tell him how I felt.
I would suggest that he may run into a bunch of guys who want to take out the yardstick. I'd certainly want to if I came across Sean Casten. I mean, are there any men other than my father left in the 6th Congressional District? I'll ask again. I don't know the answer. I know there's one man left in Michigan. He had a tete-a-tete with Joe Biden when he had the opportunity to confront a sophist and a liar, fork-tongued political hack like Joe Biden. He took full advantage of it and got the disdain directly from Joe Biden that Sean Casten will only give you remotely over a Zoom call. You know why? Because he's a, wuss, to be polite.
That was very nice of you.
Took a lot of restraint.
I know.
And this was the exchange between one Jerry Wayne, union guy, gun owner, proud American, and then candidate Joe Biden.
And you are actively trying to diminish your Second Amendment right and take away your gun. You're forced.
No, shush. I support the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, just like right now, if you yell fire, that's not free speech. But from the very beginning, I have a shotgun, I have a 20 gauge, a 12 gauge, my son's hunt. Guess what? You're not allowed to own any weapons. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds.
So when you were in Beto and you said you're going to take our guns,
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that.
Video.
It's a viral video like the other ones they're putting out that are simply a lie.
Your voice, you said that you're taking the guns.
Oh,
he just clarified it.
Wait. Take the AR-14s and what?
Okay, this is not okay.
Hold on. Hey, let's get
Don't tell me all this, pal. I want to go
There's a
outside.
lot of guys wanting.
I'm not working.
So much.
Give me a break,
so
man.
much.
Don't be such a
You're
worry
pushing up
guy.
on me.
Hey, there's a lot of
Look, here's the deal.
Go ahead, go.
Here's the deal. Are you able to own a machine gun?
I own a machine gun.
I said, are you able to own one? Uncle Rod.
Machine guns are illegal.
That's right. So AR-15s are legal.
How is that in a machine gun?
No, it's not.
Semi-automatic.
Yeah, do you need 100 rounds? Do you need 100 rounds?
In America with handguns, and there are what you call assault rifles. Why are you advocating for assault rifles when people are buying a handgun?
Yeah.
God, I forgot about Angry Joe.
Yeah.
That was a different side. It was screaming and swearing at him.
AR-14, he most certainly meant AR-15, but it shows how
Right.
little he knows about guns. This is the same guy, you got to protect yourself, get a shotgun, take whatever, go on your porch and use a shotgun from your porch or something like this. And he also said Jerry Wayne was full of hooey, although he didn't use the word hooey.
No.
Jerry Wayne joins us now. He is a voter, gun owner, Michigan union worker, and hard-working American patriot. That was not going to let Joe Biden get away with the usual rap that politicians get away with when they come to glad hand at a union shop. Jerry, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Before we get to Joe Biden, what do you think about Congressman? He's a congressman, Sean Casten, saying that having small genitals is not a good enough reason to own a gun, as if that would be the only reason. You're compensating.
Yeah, I'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with that guy, tell you that. If that's the case, then count me in for having really small genitals, then I guess.
All right.
All right.
man
Well,
enough
this
to
is
admit
great
it.
conversation. I'm glad I'm here.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you do have that conversation with Sean Casten, please make sure somebody videos it like they did the Joe Biden conversation, because I think it would be
I'd love for that.
quite sporting.
So how did it happen? How did you get so close to him to talk to him about, your Second Amendment right?
Oh, well, I didn't even know he was coming in that day. He just came into our workplace, and they told us the day of. So I spent some time, articulating a question, and I wanted to be prepared and not sound like a babbling baboon. And so I went over there with a question, and I had an apprentice with me, and the apprentice kind of made it to where I get to the front.
Mm-hmm.
And he started making his way through, shaking hands, and I just I stopped him, and I started to ask the question, and he didn't stop me. So the rest is history after that.
And what was the reaction after the video went viral and that exchange and you not letting Joe Biden walk on the topic until he got a little bit out of sorts?
Yeah, so actually, believe it or not, the people around me were not too fond of me in that question because, usually unions are like vote blue no matter who,
Right.
But I think regardless of where the way your representatives want you to vote, I think it's important to ask these politicians questions and actually seek out what they're actually going to be doing for you in office. And I did that, and nobody really understood what I had said at first, and they were kind of against me. But once the video came out and they understood what I asked, and I've had a huge rally nationwide, actually, a lot of people are really banding together and standing against this guy.
Well, were you surprised by his vulgar language at you? I mean, here's a man who wants to be president of the United States. President Trump would never say that to you. No.
Yeah, it wasn't so much as surprising to me because I do construction, so I hear it all the time. But it was a little bit different coming from a politician when there's cameras around. So at first I was like, "Wow, man, this isn't really cool." But it's a man-to-man conversation, and we can have it if that's what he wants to have.
Why didn't you, as say, Vice President Biden, would you like to step outside and settle this? You think I'm full of hooey? I think you're full of hooey. Why don't we settle this like men out right outside here?
Right. Well, he asked me to step outside. That's what he wanted to do. So it was more of a threatening comment there. I didn't want to do that. I'm a man of stature, and I think that there is a little bit more of a
of course
a little bit more of a cause there. But he also said he doesn't work for me. I thought that was a little bit telling there. Because he's talking to me, he'd say the same thing to anybody else in America. And if he says he's not going to work for me, he sure as heck doesn't work for you.
That's a good point. I mean, that's the attitude, right? You're a subject, not a constituent. That is the attitude. How do your union mates feel about the election right now that we've moved on from Joe Biden, the candidate, to Joe Biden, the nominee, and the choice vis-a-vis Trump?
Yeah, actually, they are swinging hard, very hard. It's to the point to where I walk to the plant, and people are coming out of the way to shake my hand.
Huh. So somewhat of a celebrity.
It's definitely, yeah, a little bit. I appreciate it. I tried to get my work done still, but it's getting to the point to where it's kind of hard to get my work done because so many people want to come up and say hi and get their picture taken and all that stuff. But this has happened nationally. People are reached out to me all over the nation and that are union members and all the way from the Teamsters, pipe fitters, UAW, and they all agree. So I think there's definitely a major swing after this whole Joe Biden incident.
How about SEIU, the teachers' unions, or AFSCME? Have you had any of those public sector unions reach out to you?
No, none from them at all.
Yeah, trade's a little bit different. Yeah, interesting. What's your where in Michigan are you? What community?
I'm just south of Detroit. I'm in Wayne. I'm still in Wayne County, the same county as Detroit.
And so, what's the feeling, beyond your workplace and the larger community, since Michigan was such an instrumental state in 2016?
Yeah, well, I'm in the same district of Debbie Dingell, and so longest held Democratic sanctuary in the nation, I believe, and between her and her husband, and that's where like Ann Arbor is and stuff like that. So it's kind of left here, but believe it or not. Just talking to neighbors and stuff like that, the demographic is definitely swinging away from the left. So who knows if they're going to be voting for Trump or Kanye West, but it seems that most people are not going to Trump, or excuse me, to Biden. So, but this man's had a long time in office. He's had a long time to represent people, and I don't see it.
Well,
36 years.
What he's done for anybody.
Not compared to John Dingell, though.
John Dingell, he's still
right.
47 years. John Dingell was just getting his feet wet at that point.
That's right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and then he passed away, and his wife ended up taking over.
Oh.
And I contemplated running against her too. It was a little bit too late though, but we'll see about next election as well. I think a lot of people are asking me to get politically involved, and if that's what America needs me to do, then I'll definitely contemplate doing that.
Well, remember Joe the plumber, and he ended up running for office. Are you going to run for office?
Possibly, we'll see. I have an organization I'm working on as well, and I think I might be able to make a big difference there. And I'm hoping to have this. The organization's already developed, but I'm hoping to really push it after this election. And what we're going to do is take kids between the ages of 10 to 17 and actually teach them how to be upstanding citizens that are independent and they can depend on themselves and learn how to use a firearm safely.
What about a bird's eye view for us from you on the Senate race? So really like John James, what kind of chance do you give him in Michigan?
I don't give him much of a chance, to be honest with you, unfortunately. It is an absolute stronghold, and it's quite left where I live. You don't really see it because they're like in like the little city areas. I'm more in the country, even though, believe it or not, even though it's kind of left, there's still some country out here. And so the people in the country seem to be leaning a little bit more towards the right because, they don't really have a choice anymore if they want to keep their rights. That's what it's come down to. It's either you want your rights or you don't.
So this is sort of
that's what it's come down to.
So it's sort of interesting because so correct me then. This supposition is the delta between a Trump and a John James blue collar trade union guys? Is that why Trump can win Michigan and John James you don't think can?
Yeah, probably. Because what it does come down to is we're having a situation in Michigan because the Electoral College. Our governor is able to appoint Democratic nominees for the Electoral College. So no matter, let's say that the entire state votes for Donald Trump, well, the Electoral College will still swing to the left.
Well,
so that's kind of the situation that we're having here.
Yeah.
So,
although if Trump wins Michigan, then there's not much really. I mean, it's possible. There's a scenario, but it's highly unlikely. Even somebody as ridiculous as Gretchen Whitmer could do much about that. And how are people faring under Gretchen Whitmer's stewardship and her COVID lockdown policies?
There's very few people that I know that are liking her right now, and I know there's quite a few people that are passing out petitions to get her out of office right now. And there's quite a few groups going up. Not everybody's really prepared for this to happen. This has happened quite quickly with this order of tyranny. And so people are trying to get organized to actually get her out of office right now. And I condone those people because you're really going against our constitutional rights when you close down churches.
Mm-hmm.
Well, haven't they opened up yet?
No, churches are still not open. Neither are
What?
gyms.
Your gyms aren't open either? Oh, I'm so sorry. You can come over here and work out in Illinois.
Well, I think actually they're open up kind of. I think some of them are like a slow open where you have to wear gloves and stuff like that. But a lot of them, like my gym, is still not open.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
You
got to get your workout on, man.
It all turns on the health.
Oh, I know. I'm getting
I'm
scrawny when I'm getting videotaped.
Yeah, yeah. Well, do the Rocky IV workout and the
Get yourself a pull
the
apart.
Siberian Rocky IV workout where you just make do with what you have there out in the wild. Jerry Wayne, voter, gun owner, Michigan union worker, and Joe Biden confronter. Jerry, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, if anybody would like to follow me, I'm on Jerry Wayne AR14 on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and we got a lot more things coming up. Trying to give America a voice.
Jerry Wayne AR14, that's wonderful. Very good, very nicely done. Jerry, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
There are a lot of tough questions when thinking about caring for aging parents or loved ones. Most importantly, can they stay safe at home? With Home Care Angels Home Services, they can. Home Care Angels has been caring for seniors in their homes with compassionate and holistic non-medical care for the past 15 years. The Home Care Angel caregivers are certified in dementia care, COVID-19, and in-home care. You'll get highly qualified caregivers carefully selected for your loved ones to help with activities of daily living, meal prep, light housekeeping, or 24/7 live-in care. Due to COVID-19, they've taken